Today we're going to talk about saving an employer money on their health insurance plan and how much disruption does that take to get there, meaning employee disruption. How much are they going to change their lives to be able to get this little bit of savings that we can provide? And there's so many different vendors out there and strategies, and there's thousands of them that come and they promise you the world, and at the end of the day, is there savings to your employer's plan? So I'm going to start off with this graph. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to talk about 6 different strategies that are being used in the marketplace right now, and do they bring value to their plan, or is it really just a headache for the employer? So starting off with this graph, if you have a self-funded plan or even a level-funded plan where you can see claims, you know the 80-20 rule. 80% of the claims come from 20% of the people. I kind of want to, not that I want to flip that, but I want to change the conversation there. What that actually means is if 20% of the people are 80% of the claims, that means all I need to do is disrupt 20% of the people to get 80% of the savings. And we all know we can bring these strategies into a plan that can disrupt everybody, annoy everyone more importantly, and probably get 40% in savings on an average plan. Is it worth it? So going back to 20% of the claimants or 80% of the claims, why are we trying to disrupt all 100% of people here on this x-axis to get the 40% of savings on the y? So if I can disrupt 20% of the people to get 80% of the savings, which is 32%, which is great savings, why wouldn't I? Why would I worry about this 80% of people to get the extra 88% in savings? So that's kind of, again, why we're talking about this today is there's too many strategies that do this, that focus on this 80% and not focus on the 20. So let's get into it. So let me flip this over here. So here are 6 strategies. 6 strategies that we're going to talk about. What does it cost to implement the strategy? How much stop loss value does this bring? So when I mean stop loss value, it's do they lower the stop loss rates, the reinsurance rates, the premium, and the aggregate factors, the claims bucket, in other words, if the strategy goes into place. And then last, is there a positive return on investment for that? Again, I've just picked out 6 strategies that I hear a lot on LinkedIn. If you have another strategy you want me to go through, I absolutely will do another video here. So let's start off with surgery and imaging contract navigation. So what this is a just quick high level. It is a aggregate of contracts to send employees to outpatient surgical centers, ambulatory surgical centers for things like knee replacements and shoulders. Also sending them to imaging centers to get CT scans and MRIs and whatnot. So what does it cost? I've seen it cost $4 per employee per month. I've seen it cost $10. I think usually they fall in the range of about $6. So I'm going to put $6 here. And that's per employee per month. Okay. Does this bring stop loss value? No, absolutely not. Underwriters do not care if this is in the plan or it's not in the plan. Couple reasons. The utilization is low. That's the first off. Very low utilization. So at the end of the day, if not many people are using it, then why would they give us any reductions in the rates? I don't blame them. Thought is here is when you go do a shoulder surgery or you go do a, let's call it a knee replacement, there's very specific criteria to do those. So what happens is most people that call to say, hey, can I use the contract? They're told no, or if they're told yes, they're told to drive 3, 4, 5 hours away, which of course they're going to say no to. Where you're seeing a lot of this is I see a lot of like colonoscopies, which are cheaper in general, and I see a lot of MRIs and CT scans, where you see most of these, which again has savings. I mean, a CT scan goes from $3,500 to let's call it $1,000, but is there enough of them to lower the rate? And the answer is no. So there's no positive return on investment. Your best bet is again, let's call it a 100 employee company at $6 a month, $600 a month, times that by 12. What is that? That's $7,200 a year. If you can beat $7,200 worth of savings on a 100 employee company, maybe it's a positive, but it doesn't happen very often. Okay? Let me give you another example. Reference-based pricing, which we all know is saving money. It definitely saves money. What does it cost? Well, what happens is you're going to get rid of the network. So your network fees are $6, $12, $15, $22 a month, and you're going to replace it with a repricer and a negotiator, which you're going to see. I've seen 16, I've seen 30. So we'll just kind of put a range here, 16 to 30. Again, per employee per month. But you're replacing the network. So this, I would call this net even. I mean, on that side. Does it bring underwritten value? Yes, absolutely. So I did a video just recently. We updated a RAND report of how much is a private insurer paying comparative to Medicare. On average, it was 254% versus what Medicare pays. What does reference-based pricing pay? It's really up to your plan, but I've seen 110, I've seen 170% of Medicare. Regardless, it's lower than 250. So if we're paying at 170 and they're, meaning networks, are paying 250, of course they're going to give us underwritten value. So yes, the return on investment is absolute. Let's talk about disruption. Who is it disrupting? Everybody. Absolutely everybody. So you have to talk to your employers to understand, is disrupting every employee from the primary care visit that they go to the surgery they have to get savings, is it worth it? And up front, usually the answer is yes, and they get a few years in and they say, no, absolutely not. Take me back to a network because I want a smooth plan. So let's keep going. Direct primary care, and this is a controversial one because I know a lot of us love this here on LinkedIn. What does it cost? I've seen it down to $50 per employee per month, and let me rephrase that. Not per employee, it's per member. So there's dependents, you have to add the dependents too. It's 50 to 120, and it's per member per month. 50 to 120 PM PA. Okay? So let's call it, and I'm just going to use a rounded example. Let's say there's no dependents on a plan, just to make my math easy. It's 100 employees on the plan. So that's 100 times 100, that's 10 grand a month, that's $120,000 of fixed cost that you're adding to a 100 employee plan, okay? Does it bring stop loss value? And I'm gonna put kind of here. Let's put kind of. Okay, I'm running out of room. The reason is kind of because they don't lower the stop loss premium, but they'll lower the aggregate factor. So you're gonna add $120,000 of fixed cost, and you're gonna lower $120,000 of aggregate possible cost, variable cost. Again, possible. You're adding a 100% fixed and you're lowering a possible cost. So is there a positive return on investment? Maybe. That's the answer, is maybe. Because as 100 employees, are they going to have $120,000 of primary care claims? It's possible, but does it happen? Probably not. But again, I'm going to put maybe here because it's possible. It's possible. Next is telemedicine. This is an easy one. Okay, we all know telemedicine. Call a doctor, app on your phone. Average wait time 15 minutes, free visit. They send you a pharmacy or prescription wherever you want. Great. It's great benefit for employees. What does it cost? $3 to $10 per employee per month. So very cheap. Are you disrupting? Not really, kind of. It's a voluntary product that employees can just use if they want to use, and if they don't, they don't. Utilization becomes low then because we're not forcing them to do that. But it's saving them money. Does the stop loss care? No, they do not care. And it's because the utilization is so low. And what we're doing is we're evacuating lower cost claims like in this strategy like this. So no underwritten values, same stop loss rates. So return on investment? No, not going to get it. But again, talking about disruption and adding benefits to employees, it's good, but you're not going to get savings here. Another one that we hear a lot on LinkedIn is this navigation tool. And there's a good amount of companies out there doing this. What their pitch is that we're going to send employees to higher quality, lower cost providers. Anywhere from primary care to specialty visits to your scans to your surgeries, all the way up and down, pretty much anything that's not emergency, they want to be involved. And you can even force your employees to call them for every single visit. I've seen it cost 16, 15, I've seen it 36. I'm gonna just put 20 to 40 per employee per month. Let's call it that. Okay, this is on top of networks, or if you have a mid-tier network, which I'll get to, on top of everything else. So you're not netting it out like you are the reference-based pricing. This is additional. Does the stop-loss care? Higher quality, lower cost claims. No, they don't care. Let me explain. To use a nurse navigation tool, your biggest tiered networks, your highest level networks, don't allow this to navigate from one doctor to the other in their network. So you have to pair this up most of the time with reference-based pricing. And what is reference-based pricing? We're paying every doctor the same, 150, 170% of Medicare. So yes, this sends maybe employees to higher quality doctors, but are they lower cost? No, because everybody's the same cost. So when you do this, you pair these together, and let's say you just did reference-based pricing. Without this, it's going to cost the same with it, because this is what's driving the savings, not the navigating employees from everywhere else. So I know we like to use this strategy a lot, but it's not driving savings because we're already paying everybody the same here, okay? So you're just adding a fixed cost to the plan. So is there a positive ROI? No, there is not. Which again, I know a lot of people like to use these programs, but there's just no savings there. And what you're doing again is you're disrupting all of these people. You're disrupting the entire gamut. So sometimes what you end up seeing is when this is paired with this, you've added so much fixed cost here, you might as well just do a full network plan. Because all this fixed cost you start adding to the plan ends up being about the same total max cost at the end of the day. So last one here, again, if you have any strategies you want me to go through, I absolutely will. Just tell me, we'll do a whole new video. I just thought these were 6 very common ones that we could use. Alternative sourcing. So most of us know the story here. We're going to alternatively purchase prescriptions that are high cost. So these are your brand, your non-preferred, your specialty drugs, using alternative sourcing vendors or sources like patient assistance programs, coupon cards, Canada, international. So there's a cost to that. Some vendors charge a percentage of savings, so like 20%, and others charge a fixed cost, so like 15 to 30. So I'm gonna put 20% of savings, or let's call it 25 per employee per month, okay? Is there underwritten value to this? Absolutely, there is, absolutely. Why? Because we're evacuating the risk of high cost prescriptions. I won't even talk about the patient assistance program. Let's just talk about Canada in general. I can usually get a 90-day supply for a prescription for the cost of a 30-day supply in the US. And we all know our US pharmacy system is very expensive. So when the underwriter sees this is in the plan, they will absolutely reduce your rates. So yes, underwritten value, okay? So then here's the question. Which strategies do we use to get the least disruption with the most savings that function well together and whatnot? And the thought is how many do we want to stack on top of each other before the employee just doesn't even know who to call anymore or where to use or how many plans? I mean, literally there's plans out there with 20 of these stacked all up and down. Again, how are they ever going to have any utilization if they don't even know the number to call? So what we've done in our plans is, again, I want to be in this space. I only want to disrupt 20% of people, your highest claimants, and I only want to get the 32% of savings. I don't need this. This 8% does not matter. Getting somebody to this 20% disruption, 80% of savings to 32%, that's the game that Pinnacle Health Plan plays in. So if you're interested on how we've developed a strategy like this, just to focus on the biggest of the biggest claimants and only vendors that have underwritten value to the plans with the minimal amount of disruption, give us a call, shoot me an email, comment on this video, DM me, whatever you want to be. that's what we're doing here. If you're happy with us with fourth quarter, we'd love to be able to implement a plan for you. Again, thank you for watching. If you need us to do this with any other vendors, please let us know. Talk to you soon. Thanks.